அடுத்த நாளை என்ன நடக்கும் அப்படின்னு ஒரு சர்ப்ரைஸில் வாழ்ந்துட்டுருக்க இன்னைக்கு 60 வயசுக்கு அப்புறம் சேமிங்க அப்படின்னு சொல்கிறீங்களே, எங்களால் எப்படி அதை டேக்கிள் பண்ண முடியும்?
Most countries in the world are now aligning their retirement date to life expectancy. Fill it, shut it, forget it. The auto choice scheme is exactly that. Where as a subscriber, as an individual subscriber, you don't need to make any decisions on your portfolio.
ஆனால் ஃப்யூச்சரை பார்த்து நம்ம இப்படி ஆக்ஷன் பண்ணோன்னா ஃப்யூச்சர் நம்மளை பார்த்து இப்படி ஒரு ஆக்ஷன் பண்ணுது. நிலைத்தன்மையின்மை. நான் என் முதல் கேள்வியை மறுபடியும் ரீட்ரேட் பண்ணுறேன்.
Planning is secondary. Women need to be equally well informed and empowered, more importantly, to make financial decisions.
நம்ம 2K கிட்ஸும் 90s கிட்ஸும் ரொம்ப கஷ்டப்பட போகிறோம் அப்படின்றத அழகாக இங்கிலீஷில் சொல்லிட்டார். அதை நான் கொஞ்சம் ஹார்டாக தமிழில் சொல்கிறேன்.
If you have the right asset allocation, you will make money. The kind of money that will shock you.
ஸ்டாக் மார்க்கெட்டை அடிப்படையிலிருந்து லேர்ன் பண்ணணுமா? சார்ட் ட்ரேடிங், சப்போர்ட் அண்ட் ரெசிஸ்டன்ஸ், என்ட்ரி, ஸ்டாப் லாஸ், டார்கெட் என அனைத்தையும் பிராக்டிகலாக 1 day லைவ் ஒர்க் ஷாப்பில் லேர்ன் பண்ணுங்க. கால் 8072586715. லிங்க் இன் டிஸ்கிரிப்ஷன்.
Sincere Syndication presents Magic Money TN Summit 2026 Chennai edition, an initiative by Magic 20 Tamil. Platinum sponsors Aditya Birla Capital Mutual Funds, ICICI Prudential Mutual Funds, supporting sponsor 361, knowledge partner UTI. The future of retirement ஒரு எக்ஸ்க்ளூசிவான ஒரு கான்வர்சேஷன் இருக்க போது. இந்த கான்வர்சேஷனை கெஸ்ட்டாக நம்ம கூட பார்ட்டிசிபேட் பண்ண இருக்காங்க திரு ஸ்ரீராம் ஐயர் அவர்கள். மிஸ்டர் ஸ்ரீராம் ஐயர் இஸ் த மேனேஜிங் டைரக்டர் அண்ட் CEO ஆஃப் HDFC Pension Fund Management, India's largest private sector pension fund manager, managing the retirement savings of over 25 lakh Indians. He is widely regarded as a thought leader in retirement planning and the National Pension Scheme. He has been recognized among Asia's top 20 pension fund executives by Asian Investor. இந்த ஒரு கான்வர்சேஷனை நமக்காக மாடரேட் பண்ணி தர இருக்காங்க திரு மோகன் குமார் ராமகிருஷ்ணன் அவர்கள், ஃபவுண்டர் ஆஃப் ஃபினாலயா லேர்னிங் கிளப் அண்ட் a SEBI Smart Trainer, passionately working to promote investor awareness. I now request திரு மோகன் குமார் ராமகிருஷ்ணன் to the stage.
ரிட்டையர்மெண்ட் சார். ஸோ அபவுட் ரிட்டையர்மெண்ட் பிளானிங். ஸோ ஒரு சிம்பாலிசமாக உக்காந்துக்கிறோம். ஸோ தான் கரெக்டாக இருக்கும். வாசு சில விஷயங்களை சொல்லி என்னை அனுப்பினார்னு சொல்கிறத விட பணித்தார் என்று சொல்லலாம். தமிழில் பேசுங்க மோகன் அப்படின்னாரு. ஸோ இந்த செஷனில் கொஞ்சம் நற்ற மொழியில் நீங்கள் கேட்கலாம், அதுக்கு நான் கேரண்டி. சார், இன்றைக்கி கரண்ட் சினாரியோ பற்றி பேசணுன்னா, முன்னாடிலாம் இந்த சாஃப்ட்வேர் இன்ஜினியர்ஸ் கோடிங் பண்ணிகிட்டு இருந்தாங்க. இப்போ கிளாடிங் பண்ண ஆரம்பிச்சிட்டாங்க. முன்னாடி பே ஸ்லிப் வருமானு காத்திருப்பாங்க. இப்போ பிங்க் ஸ்லிப் வரக்கூடாதுன்னு வேண்டிக்கிறாங்க. அடுத்த நாளை என்ன நடக்கும் அப்படின்னு ஒரு சர்ப்ரைஸில் வாழ்ந்துட்டுருக்க இன்னைக்கு 60 வயசுக்கு அப்புறம் சேமிங்க அப்படின்னு சொல்கிறீங்களே, எங்களால் எப்படி அதை டேக்கிள் பண்ண முடியும்? ஏன்னா இன்றைக்கி இருக்கக்கூடிய எக்ஸ்பென்சஸ், இமீடியட் கோல்ஸுக்கே எங்களுக்கு நேரம் பத்தலை அப்படின்னு சொல்கிற ஒரு சென்சி உங்கள் முன்னாடி வந்து நின்னார்னா அவருக்கு என்ன அட்வைஸ் பண்ணுவீங்க?
I'm going to firstly clarify that my answers are going to be in English. I have the same problem that Raghav had. I'm fluent in Tamil, but only so much. I can't use financial jargon in Tamil. So if I understood your question correctly, you want to know what is the advice to Gen Z,
Yeah.
right? Somebody who's at Gen Z today is going to become a baby boomer 20 years from now. We have to keep that in mind, right? Somebody who is 25 today is going to become 65 or 60, 35 years from now. So retirement is the only item which has an end date, definite end date, right? And it will come for everybody. So my question is, if you don't prepare for something that you know you're going to hit, what is it that you're going to prepare for? Now, I know for a fact that somebody who is 25 years old may not necessarily think about this situation that will potentially emerge 60 years, after 35 years. All of us start worrying about retirement when? At the age of 50. I deal with a lot of customers, across various companies in India. At the age of 58, they will want to know what can we do now for retirement. It's way too late, right? So from a youngster's perspective, the biggest advantage that they have, and Raghav spoke about it so eloquently, is time is on their hands, time is on the side. He spoke about time in the market and not timing the market. I'm sure it's a very, very, oft-used term. That is exactly what a Gen Z has, right?
Age.
And time is what they have on their side, which is a huge advantage. Why do I say this? Every day's delay in participating in a product like NPS or a product like a mutual fund or any actively managed product is going to cost you, if I were to say it is going to cost you 2,500 rupees per day, would you be interested or not interested in starting your journey? Every day that you're delaying, between 25 and 35, 10 years of delay can cost you potentially a few crores. You want to make that loss? Be my guest.
எக்ஸலண்ட். வருமுன் காப்போம், வேறு வழியே இல்லை அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டாரு. ஃப்யூச்சர் பற்றி இவர் சொன்னார், ராகவும் சொன்னார். இன்ஃபேக்ட் இந்த செஷனை எப்படி ஆரம்பிக்கணும்னு நான் யோசிச்சப்போ அந்த அதின்னு தமிழில் பாடல்கள் சொல்லுவாங்க. ஒரு வாக்கியத்தோட முடிவு இன்னொரு வாக்கியத்தோட ஆரம்பமாக இருக்கும். ஓனிங் த ஃப்யூச்சர்னு ராகவ் சொன்னார். ஆனால் ஃப்யூச்சரை பார்த்து நம்ம இப்படி ஆக்ஷன் பண்ணோன்னா ஃப்யூச்சர் நம்மளை பார்த்து இப்படி ஒரு ஆக்ஷன் பண்ணுது. நிலைத்தன்மையின்மை, நான் என் கேள்வியை மறுபடியும் ரீட்ரேட் பண்ணுறேன். இந்த நிலைத்தன்மையின்மையோடு சேர்த்து இன்னொரு விஷயம் ஆட் ஆகுது. சார், ஃபார்ச்சுனேட்லி ஆர் அன்ஃபார்ச்சுனேட்லி டியூ டு தி அட்வான்ஸ் மெடிக்கல் சயின்சஸ் நம்ம வாழ்கிற காலம் வந்து இன்க்ரீஸ் ஆகிட்டுருக்கு இப்போ. ஸோ இப்படி ஏஜிங் பாப்புலேஷன் ஆகிறதுக்கான சான்சஸ் நிறையவே இருக்குது ஒரு லாங் ரனில் இந்தியாவில் ஃபெர்டிலிட்டி ரேட் கம்மியாகும் பொழுது. இந்த சுச்சுவேஷனில் ரிட்டையர்மெண்ட் ஏஜ் 60 அப்படின்றது இன்னும் வேலிடாக இருக்குமா, இல்லை பீப்புள் நீட் டு டென் டு ஒர்க் ஹார்டா அதுக்கு மேலேயும்?
Yeah, I think it is one of those long-held myths that you retire at the age of 60, right? I think it is one of the biggest, wrong notions that is practiced at this point of time. But in our country, the problem is that there is so much of young talent that there is no option but for companies to push people out the moment they hit 60. Like people like me will, in the next 5 years, hit 60, I'll be, sent out of the company because there are enough and more people who can come and replace me. Having said that, I think most developed countries, if you look at, in the US, I don't know how many of you are aware, there is no concept of a retirement date. There's no concept of a retirement age. You can continue to work 70, 72, 74, 75, till you become physically, you become incapable of working. You can actually, there's no end date. That's the US. In most developed countries, in fact in France last year, there were huge riots which broke out because they changed the retirement age from 62 to 64. Most countries in the world are now aligning their retirement date to life expectancy. This was okay, 60 was okay when people were, departing for hopefully a better future, brighter future up there at the age of 68. That number is moved. Even in India, right? India as a country is there's a lot of variety in the kind of demographics that is there, right? I mean, while the median age is around 29, the reality is that even at an India level, the insurance companies look at, what is the mortality age, they call it, right? There's a mortality table which tells you different cohorts, evlo varsho varailu they will be alive, right? In India, the number is 72, right? But that has changed from 68 to 72 in the last few years. More importantly, for the customers, for people sitting in this room, mortality is most likely 80, 85, right? He spoke about his dad who's 85, my dad is 92, right? So based on the socioeconomic category that you belong to, it is likely that you will be in a retired stage for longer than what you worked.
Okay.
So it is likely that you may have worked only for 25 years, but you will be in a retired state with inflation creeping up over the next 30, 35 years. That's a reality.
You mean to say the distribution stage will be longer than the accumulation stage?
It is very, very likely. It already is happening.
Okay. ஸோ இப்போ பெருங்குளத்தூர் தாண்டி பிளாட்டு வாங்கிட்டு பேப்பர் படிச்சுட்டு நிம்மதியாக காஃபி குடிப்போம் அப்படின்ற காலெலாம் மலையேறி போச்சு. நம்ம 2K கிட்ஸும் 90s கிட்ஸும் ரொம்ப கஷ்டப்பட போகிறோம் அப்படின்றத அழகாக இங்கிலீஷில் சொல்லிட்டார். அதை நான் கொஞ்சம் ஹார்டாக தமிழில் சொல்கிறேன். சார், நான் இப்போ ஒரு ஜெண்டர் பற்றி ஒரு கொஷின் கேட்குறேன் சார். மென் விமன் இவங்க ரெண்டு பேரை கம்பேர் பண்ணும்போது சம்டைம்ஸ் விமன் ஹேஸ் சம் டெம்பரரி கெரியர் பிரேக்ஸ் இருக்குது அண்ட் தே அவுட்லிவ் மென். அவங்களுடைய ஆயுட்காலம் ஆண்களை விட அதிகமாக இருக்குன்னு WHO சொல்லுது. Do we need to have a separate strategy of retirement planning for the women gender? It includes spouse retirement planning as well.
Yeah, I think clearly the approach that one should take, and unfortunately in India, I think we are getting into this, we are getting better in terms of financial literacy and so on and so forth. But the reality is that women in India at this point of time are financially less literate than men, because men in the household somehow think that they have the right to do all financial decisions, right? Which is incorrect. Definitely in terms of the number of years that women are expected to survive, even if you look at the annuity rates that insurance companies give out, they will typically give you a rate saying male 60, female 55, right? That's the joint life return of purchase price plan, right? So they will always give you a plan where there's a difference of 5 years between the husband and the wife. Clearly, right? Women need to be, first is planning is secondary. Women need to be equally well informed and empowered, more importantly, to make financial decisions. I think men are responsible for actually not allowing that to happen, and that has to happen. And if that happens, women will take care of themselves. I think they're very, very smart, much smarter than men.
Alexa, play Singapenne. And the moment marandadu ipo. Sir, now with the introduction of new tax regime, earlier ஒரே ஒரு tax regime இருந்த காலகட்டத்தில் இதில் போட்டால் 80Cயில் டிடக்ஷன் எடுத்துக்கலாம் அப்படின்ற விஷயத்தினாலேயே நிறைய பேர் ஃபோர்ஸ்ஃபுல்லாக சேவ் பண்ணிகிட்டு இருந்தோம். மேட் பி அ பிபிஎஃப் ஆர் எல்ஐசி பாலிசி. இப்போ நியூ டேக்ஸ் ரிஜிம் வந்துட்டதுனால வாட் பாலிசி சேஞ்சஸ் would you like to see that could improve pension penetration in India?
Firstly, I think, looking at retirement products as a tax vehicle is a big flaw, right? Whether you get a tax benefit or not, you have to plan for your retirement. And there are vehicles such as NPS, and hopefully we'll talk about that in slightly greater detail, which are ideally suited and constructed for retirement planning. In my opinion, and I'm an interested party, I'm a pension fund manager, but I can tell you with a deep sense of conviction, having worked in this industry for 32 years, not just in pension, but in wealth management as well and banking, that there is no other product that exists in the Indian market which is as attractive or as efficient as national pension system. It's the cheapest product globally. This is the cheapest, fully actively managed product globally, right? So the point is, when you have products such as these, there is absolutely no reason why you should not sort of look at creating a significant amount of wealth, because cost of managing money takes away a lot of the corpus. Over a period of 25 years, 30 years, 20 to 25% leakage happens because of cost. The cost of managing money in NPS is 4 basis points. 4 basis points is equal to 0.04%.
100 ரூபாய்க்கு 4 பைசா.
That's right. That is the cost of managing money. That's what we charge as an industry. And that's regulated by the Government of India, Pension Fund and Regulatory Development Authority.
Sir, having said it's a low-cost product, and the illiquid nature of pension products is a blessing to the fund manager who is dealing it. In this context, நான் உங்களை கேட்க போகிற கேள்வி என்னென்னா, how do you see pension fund managers contributing to India's capital markets?
You need to look at this from, two contexts. You said pension funds are low cost. Of course, they are low cost. It's not just about the low cost. If you look at the last, let's say, 15 years of performance of equity funds within national pension system across all fund managers, not just us. We have been around for the last 13 years as a pension fund manager. All pension funds have delivered, by and large, between 13.5% and 14.5% compounded over 15 years. Coming to your point on locked in, is it you can't get out? I don't know how many of you are familiar with that song called Hotel California or song. It says you can get in any time, you can never leave. That's what it says, right? Now, NPS as a product has been designed to make sure that you don't succumb to the emotions which, again, Raghav spoke about so eloquently earlier. It prevents you from getting out. And that in itself, in my opinion, is the most powerful feature of this product. You cannot get out. I mean, there are, of course, small ways that you can do a premature withdrawal and so on and so forth if you so wish. But you cannot get out of this product till the time you've completed 15 years. Earlier it was age 60, now it is 15 years, right? And that is the only way you will prevent yourself from acting against your own interests. More often than not, people don't make money because they are harming their own portfolio by doing what, Raghav said. And he, beautifully explained the various, times when you take these decisions, right? So this product, given the fact that you can't get out, will make sure that over a 15-year time horizon or till the time you hit 60, you will, and if you have the right asset allocation, of course, within NPS also you have to have the right asset allocation, equity, corporate bond, government securities, you have to have the right asset allocation. If you have the right asset allocation, you will make money. The kind of money that will shock you. All of us, when we look at our employee provident fund account, which has delivered 8%, 8.5%, 9% over the last, let's say, 15, 20 years, all of us feel very happy. Imagine that number, if it is 3% higher, the corpus can be 2x or 2.5x of what it is today, right? That's the impact.
Excellent, sir. Sir, having said about the equity contribution of pension funds, now our audience might be knowing this, but still, அவருக்காக நான் இன்னொரு தமிழ்லையும் சொல்கிறேன். என்பிஎஸ்ல ஆட்டோ சாய்ஸ், ஆக்டிவ் சாய்ஸ்னு ரெண்டு இருக்குது. ஆட்டோ சாய்ஸ்னால் உங்கள் வயது ஏற ஏற உங்களுக்கான ஈக்விட்டி கான்ட்ரிபியூஷன் குறைப்பாங்க, டெட் கான்ட்ரிபியூஷன் இன்க்ரீஸ் ஆகும். நீங்கள் எதுவும் அட்ஜஸ்ட்லாம் பண்ணிகிட்டு இருக்க வேண்டாம். ஆக்டிவ் சாய்ஸில் நீங்களே ஃபீட் இன் பண்ணுவீங்க. ஈக்விட்டிக்கு இவ்வளோ, கார்பரேட் பாண்ட்ஸ்க்கு இவ்வளோ, ஏஎஃப்க்கு இவ்வளோன்ற மாதிரி. I was astonished, sir. I asked ChatGPT before interviewing you, what's the percentage of auto choice and active choice among investors? 80%, 80% auto choice தான் சூஸ் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க, பாக்கி 15 தான் ஆக்டிவ் சாய்ஸாக யூஸ் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க. What can I infer from this data?
I think it's a very positive sign. The reason why I'm saying it is a positive sign is because in the auto choice scheme, you don't have to do anything. If you remember, there used to be this Hero Honda ad when it was launched many, many years back, which said, fill it, shut it, forget it. The auto choice scheme is exactly that. Where as a subscriber, as an individual subscriber, you don't need to make any decisions on your portfolio. All you need to decide is which is the pension fund manager you are comfortable with. Let me tell you, pension funds will also go up and down, right? There are periods of time when in GSEC, pension funds have also lost money because of the interest rate risk, right? So no pension fund is going to be consistently doing well all the period of time. Of course, we are fortunate to be, be number one in terms of since inception returns on all the asset classes, but that will always not remain. So the point is that, you should not really look at returns, but look at, allowing the money to grow. And auto choice does it beautifully. It manages the risk with your age. With every passing year, your asset allocation to equity will come down and your asset allocation towards fixed income will go up till the age of 55, and then it remains. So in my opinion, the fact that pension fund investors have chosen, majority of the pension fund investors have chosen to leave the decision of asset allocation to the product is a very big positive. Having said that, I think, different cohorts of people will behave differently. If I were to look at HDFC pension funds customer base, in our customer base, close to 55% are in auto choice, 45% are in active choice, because we have a large base of salaried employees who want to make their own decision, who wants to maximize the amount of exposure to equity. That also happens.
So the last statistics makes me to blow his trumpet. 1.5 லட்சம் கோடியை தாண்டி இருக்கு அவங்களோட AUM. Big round of applause for HDFC Pension Fund Management Company. சார், இந்தியாவில் நீங்கள் ரோட்டில் போகிற ஒரு 20 பேரில் நிப்பாட்டி என்னப்பா பண்ணுற, நீ ஆண்டர்ப்ரனரா எம்ப்ளாயியா அப்படின்னு கேட்டால் பெரும்பாலானவர் நான் ஒரு இடத்துல வேலை பார்க்குறேன்னு சொல்கிற ஒரு கேட்டரில் தான் இருப்பாங்க. ஸோ இவங்களோட ரிட்டையர்மெண்ட் பிளானிங்கை இவங்க தீர்மானிப்பதை விட அவங்க எம்ப்ளாயர் தான் அதிகம் தீர்மானிக்கிறார். வாட் ரோல் ஷுட் எம்ப்ளாயர்ஸ் பிளே இன் என்கரேஜிங் த ரிட்டையர்மெண்ட் பிளானிங்?
In my opinion, in India, you have to force things many a times, right? Employee Provident Fund today is at around 28 lakh crore of assets under management. NPS is around 18.05 lakh crores of assets under management, right? Out of which 5 lakh crores is in equity, roughly 5 lakh crores is in 5.5 lakh crores is in corporate bonds, remaining is in government securities, right? Now, if you are to attain, this is the government's vision. The government's vision and the PFRDA's vision, and we've all signed up for this vision, is India has to be a pension society by 2047, which is roughly 20 years from today, right? Making a country a pension society means that you have to be having pension assets, which is roughly 55 to 60% of your GDP. What is the situation today? We are at 12%.
So this includes APY as well, Atal Pension Yojana.
APY is a very small number. APY, by the way, AUM of APY is only 50,000 crores.
Okay.
Nothing much. Okay? So you have to make it a compulsory point. I mean, of course, you can't compel anybody because it's a free choice, but at least make it opt out instead of opt in. Most employers leave it voluntary. Employee decide if they want to participate or not participate. It should be the other way around. They should be made to participate. If the employee doesn't want to participate, then he can indicate that he doesn't want to participate, right? That is a change that needs to happen. As employers, that's the change that needs to happen.
அவர் சொன்னதை நானுமே ஒத்துக்கிறேன். ஏன்னா பிஎஃப்ஐ நிறைய பேர் அடிக்கடி போய் சுரண்டிருப்போம். கோவிட் வந்துடுச்சு, காசு கொடு, வேலை போயிடுச்சு, காசு கொடு அப்படின்னு. ஒரு புது கவிதை படித்தேன். உடையாத அப்பளம் கேட்டு அழுதது குழந்தை, அப்பளம் வந்த பிறகு அதை உடைத்து விளையாடியது. பிஎஃப்ஐ உடைக்கிறவங்களாம் பார்க்கும்போது எனக்கு அந்த கவிதை ஞாபகம் வரும். இவர் சொல்கிற அந்த ஃபோர்ஸ்ஃபுல்னஸ் தேவை தான் இந்த இடத்துல. சார், இந்த மாதிரி இடத்துக்குலாம் வரும்பொழுது சார், ஏஐன்ற வார்த்தை என் கண்ணுக்கு ஆர்டிஃபிஷியலாக இன்டெலிஜென்ஸாக தெரியாது, ஆல்வேஸ் இன்வெஸ்டட் அப்படின்ற மாதிரி தான் தெரியும். இப்போ நான் உங்ககிட்ட அந்த ஃபஸ்ட்டு ஏஐ பற்றி கேட்குறேன். ஏஐ டெக்னாலஜி பென்ஷன் ஃபண்ட் இண்டஸ்ட்ரிக்கு ஏதாவது வகையில் உதவுமா? Does it have any role to play?
Definitely. I think AI is a capability that we will have to leverage. AI is not in my opinion, AI is not a threat to any industry, including IT. It is a capability that you should have the power to leverage. I'll give you a very interesting, experience that I just had recently. Last week, we did a 2-day, introductory course on AI. One of the INSEAD or Singapore, France, they have this. So two professors come from there, came and told us what is AI. At the end of those 2 days, I spent around 25 minutes writing a script. Simple English, I just wrote down what I want. And I said, I want you to build a retirement website for me. You will be shocked. And I'm sure some of you, some of the younger people here have already used AI to the hilt. In another 30 minutes, I had a full-fledged retirement website along with calculators, right? So the power of AI can be leveraged by pension fund industry and by any industry for that matter, by the capital markets as a whole or wealth management as an industry, in my opinion, 3 things. One is to make the communication to the individual easier, right? That's the biggest problem. What is the biggest problem with financial product sellers? The biggest problem is that we believe that by using jargons and by using complicated terms, we will make ourselves feel very important and sell it to the customer. Actually, it has to be simplified. Things have to be simplified, made as simple as possible. AI can help you do that because it can help you create some very, very, very good interactive tools, including calculators and so on and so forth. That's one. The second is in terms of the fund itself, and this is specifically for pension funds because we are a very, very low cost fund manager, right? I told you 0.04% to 0.12%, very, very low cost. So we have to keep our operations very tight, very tightly manage the operations. And there again, pension fund, AI as a capability can come into play. Of course, on the investment side, there are already a lot of work that's happened in terms of making sure that you're able to leverage AI to be able to sort of, take advantage of information. Basically, information processing, large volume of information processing can happen in a matter of seconds and minutes, right? So in all of these 3 things, AI can play a big part. We've made a beginning somewhere, but I think you got a long way to go. And that is going to, in my opinion, positively impact the industry.
ஓகே சார். இல்லை, தம்ப்ளைனுக்கான கேள்வி இனிமேல் தான் கேட்க போகிறேன். 2 கேள்வி. யூடியூபர்ஸ்லாம் பார்த்துக்கோங்க, கிட்ட ஜூம் வேணால் வந்துக்கோங்க. Tier 2 of NPS, is it a relevant one or redundant one?
See, there is 8,900 crores of AUM which is there in Tier 2. What does it tell you? The total AUM of the NPS industry is 18 lakh crores, out of which private sector, which is non-government, is around 4 lakh crores. Tier 2 has got 8,000 crores in it. What it means is that people have not participated in it. Why should people participate in it? One, of course, we spoke about the fact that it is low cost. You can actually go 100% in equity in Tier 2. By the way, even in the Tier 1, there are products which can give you 100% in equity, exposure 100% in equity, because if you're young, you should do that, because you have time on your side. So Tier 2 product at this point of time has not been fully leveraged. In fact, there is a very, very interesting feature of Tier 2 which most people don't know. You can enter into Tier 2, do whatever asset allocation you want, get in, get out whenever you want, but at an opportune time, move the Tier 2 money to Tier 1.
Okay.
Right? And whatever comes out of Tier 1 is fully tax exempt. It's a EEE product. So at the time of superannuation or at the time you want to take the money out, the entire corpus is tax free. Of course, you have to buy, annuity with 40% of that, which I think again is a very, very good thing.
It's right? A fact for many of us, including me.
Tier 2 to Tier 1, you can make a change. You can move the money from Tier 2 to Tier 1.
Okay.
That's a big positive. But people don't know about it. That's why I'm talking about it. And hopefully, tier 2 will get adopted more.
But next is not a who question. It's a very simple question. NPS Vatsalya, Siru Kuripu Varaiga. Explain about NPS Vatsalya.
NPS Vatsalya is nothing but if you've heard of Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana, I think most of you would know what is SSY. SSY is only for a female child. NPS Vatsalya is for any child. NPS Vatsalya is a product where every single rupee that you invest, of course, again gets managed in this low-cost fund management, universe. Actually, at the age of 18, you can use the money that has been accumulated over a period of time, and the accumulation can happen through anybody can contribute. Every birthday, you can say, this is the QR code, instead of giving some gift, can actually put the money. Anybody can put in. Earlier, there was a restriction as to who could put in. So anybody can contribute to the NPS Vatsalya account. You have options of 100% equity in Vatsalya, right? And there is no compulsion that you have to, invest every year and so on and so forth. But at the end of 18 years, that corpus is available to the child who has attained majority at that time, fully tax-free.
Excellent, sir. I think that has given a new definition of it. ஏன்னா யூடியூப்லேயும் அதை பற்றி நிறைய இல்லை, சோஷியல் மீடியாவில் எதுவும் இல்லை. என்னோட கொஷின்ஸ் எல்லாம் முடிஞ்சிருச்சு. இதுக்கு மேலே கேட்க கூட ஆஃப் பண்ண வாய்ப்பு உண்டு. ஸோ என்னோட முடிவுரை என்னென்னா, தலைவர் பாட்ஷா படத்தில் 3 குத்து விளக்கு ஏற்றுவார். பார்த்துருக்கீங்களா பாட்ஷா படம்? அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு குத்து விளக்கு உங்கள் வீடுகள்லேயும் ஒரு காலத்தில் இருந்தது, மாங்காய் உண்டியல்னு. காசை போட முடியும், ஆனால் எடுக்க முடியாது. எதுக்காதுன்னு போட்டு சேவ் பண்ணி வச்சுருப்போம். இவங்க வச்சிருக்கிறதும் மாங்காய் உண்டியல் தான். என்ன அது அப்படியே இருக்கும். இவங்களோடது உங்கள் போட்ட காசை விட அடிஷ்னலாகவும் சில ரிட்டர்ன்ஸ் வரும். ஸோ அப்படி ஒரு உண்டியலை மெயின்டைன் பண்ணுற பென்ஷன் ஃபண்ட் கம்பெனி மேனேஜரை நான் பேட்டி எடுத்தது ஒரு நல்ல வாய்ப்பு. இந்த செஷன் உங்களுக்கு யூஸ்ஃபுல்லாக இருந்திருக்கும்னு நான் நினைக்கிறேன். ஸோ தேங்க்ஸ் ஃபார் த டைம்.
தேங்க்யூ.
Thank you so much both of you. That was an insightful conversation, and thank you Mohan for the Tamil questions and thumbnail questions. I now request Thiru Francis Avargal, Chief of Staffs, Bharati Meraki, to honor our speakers. Please, Francis, come to the stage.